Scar care. Talking about scar care all the time. But specifically, I feel like a lot of folks, they know that we as transgender, non-conforming, intersex, two-spirit, non-binary folks, we struggle to get access to surgeries, to gender-related surgeries. And as so many women can tell you, we struggle to get access to surgeries. Hi. I know I did when I was 30. I wanted to get fixed, and I was living in California at the time, and I had a private insurance company I was using. It was Kaiser Permanente, if you're in that area. And I went to 4 doctors trying to get a tubal ligation. And all 4 of them cited my age as the reason why they wouldn't let me get fixed, which thankfully I knew in California was illegal. So I was dating a lawyer at the time, and she very beautifully wrote me a letter that I sent with signature to member services. And that day, they called me to schedule my first appointment. And I got my tubal ligation. But most women aren't going to do that. Most women aren't going to understand that that's even illegal in that state. So anyway, just to say, I have my own experience as a woman not getting gender-related care that I fucking deserve. So we see that also in trans big umbrella bodies as well, not getting access to the medical care we deserve. And we talk about that a lot, which I'm so glad for. And what we don't talk about a lot, that I talk about a lot, is we don't get the aftercare that we fucking deserve either. And a lot of us are shy, ashamed, scared, angry, unsure about how to get that care when the medical team is like, did the thing, bye. You shouldn't have a problem. If you do, it's not our fault. Is an unfortunately too common occurrence. So a lot of folks will end up with issues that they may not even realize is related to their surgeries. And that one's really interesting. If you look at, I think it's the program top, Elle is doing some amazing work around shoulders, because we know that folks who get double mastectomies it's not uncommon to end up with shoulder issues. I had a shoulder issue before my surgery, and it got much worse after my surgery. And thankfully, Mana, both of these people are in this trans queer collective for manual scar care, which is the event coming up November 14th. Mana was very helpful with me, supporting me with this problem I had until I was able to get back in for a revision that helped to finally solve the issue with my shoulder for the most part. Ish, kind of, anyway, ongoing things. But so aftercare, scar care is about aftercare, and we're not talking about that. We're so focused on getting the care we deserve to begin with that many of us feel guilty about asking for the care we need following these surgeries. I think very similarly to so many people I know who have had cesareans, and the aftercare for that is so often shit. It's awful. And one of the things that we're trying to do, there's 5 of us right now. Bam and Coda are the other 2, so that's 5, that are offering manual scar care support in Jajage, Montreal. And as far as I know, I'm the only person that offers this support around bottom surgeries, because that is considered illegal in this country. And I've had to allow that conversation to be word of mouth, primarily because I did not yet have my citizenship. and I do now. So I'm happy to say a little more loudly. I'm doing hands-on and internal bottom surgery care, and it's beautiful. When I think of like, I don't use this terminology really generally, but I often think of it as like vulva doulaship in a way. It's really incredible to be able to offer that kind of care because it's just not. And Jaya is an amazing queer pelvic floor therapist here that I'm also so glad that we have. And also doesn't do the same work. We do very different work. So, which I'm so glad to have somebody to refer to when I've got a client that has pain that goes beyond scar remediation issues, but it is different. So part of it is that like overwhelmingly who is accessing bottom surgeries are trans feminine folks. And the majority of my scar care support has been with trans feminine folks. Just this last spring, I started working with folks that were assigned female at birth and have had reductions or double mastectomies or keyhole or whatever top surgeries they may have. That's new, and I've been enjoying that work, and it's different, and it's fulfilling in a very different way. But I would say I'm most passionate about supporting bottom surgery because the coming into ourselves when we have access of support in that trauma stewardship is mind-blowingly different. So yeah. So for this work, I invite in a lot of somatic practices. I use my work as a somatic sex educator. That's a lot of it, and much of the setup work is around consent and having access to knowing what you want, having access to your voice to tell me what you want and what you don't want, being enthusiastically met with your yeses and your nos, and helping you find the tools to be able to care for your body in the ways that you desire. And we figure that out together. I also love inviting in queer magic and ritual and fetish and eroticism into this work. I believe, the adage that you have to make the revolution desirable. And I think the same applies to our body. Our world is pathologizing our bodies, unfortunately. And I feel like so many of us are swallowing that medicine or poison. And I think that inviting the erotic, and pleasure, whether that is, oh, I actually prefer the sensations of this sheet under my body to this sheet. That is inviting in more pleasure. Or the erotic of, oh, doing this area of scar care is really emotionally charged for me and hard to handle. And I find that if I am edging an orgasm while I'm doing that work, it helps to release the tension, and I'm able to do that work with a lot more ease and more satisfaction in the process, and I get to enjoy it. So there's a range of how you engage with these things. And in my work, I strive to meet you where you are in that range, wherever it may be. If it is figuring out like how to do this in your home with yourself, or I love it when people bring in their caregivers, their partners, their lovers, their friends, their roommates, and I get to teach them as well so that you have the support. I've often found that with many of my trans feminine clients, doing dilation feels like a chore. And so we invite in ways to make that fun, make it sexy, if that's what's desired, but at least make it desirable in some way, shape, or form. And it's the creativity that's found in there is it's really fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. So there's making it desirable, but there's also access and adaptability. And a lot of folks have a hard time reaching themselves with ease. So I've got tools that I've developed to kind of help make that more easeful and more enjoyable, ideally. Uh, so yeah, these kind of pieces. So I'm very grateful that um, I have somebody who's willing to be a live demo for vaginoplasty. I'm seeking other bottom surgery demos. As you can imagine, a lot of people maybe don't want to share this openly at a demo. My demo is going to be in a private area, so not everybody's just going to be able to walk through. But if you know somebody who's had bottom surgeries that might be willing to share of themselves and their body, I would love it if you might put us in contact or have them reach out. It's a big request. I know that, and it makes such a difference when we can connect with other people who have been through this, so that we can talk about our own fears in going into these surgeries. So yeah, so I will have somebody who very graciously is allowing themselves to share in this intimacy. I don't know that they would call it vulnerable. That's for them to decide, but about this experience and being with their body. So come on November 14th. There are going to be 2 sessions. There's 2 time slots to choose from, and they're free, but we need you to register. And yeah, the demos are just that. They're demos. So we're not going to be working one-on-one with you. You can hire us to do that. All of us offer sliding scale. Many of us offer free or trade sessions, a certain number per month. I especially do with folks who are multiply impacted by oppression. So, what else do you need to know? Oh, when I say, I'm very purposefully saying gendered surgeries. That is super fucking purposeful on my part. First of all, not all gender related surgeries are affirming, and also this includes not surgeries but gender related scars. So I have sexual assault trauma scars. And I know I'm not the only one, unfortunately. So that is also work that is available, offerings available for those who may be living with those traumas on their body. I offer that hands-on, but also gender-related surgeries, including hysterectomy, birthing scars. Yeah. So if you've got questions, feel free to slide in my DMs and ask away. So often I feel like people assume that we're only talking about top surgery, and if we're talking about top surgery, we're only talking about mastectomies, and we're not talking about augment, and that is incorrect. And I understand where that assumption comes from, because so many people that have breasts are accessing these surgeries. But many of us work with multiple different types of scars in multiple different kinds of ways. So we want to sort of make sure that that is known. Yeah. Come witness live in-person demonstrations showcasing 5 very different, distinct scar modalities in action. November 14th, if you're in Tiohtià:ke or Montreal. And for those who are not here, I offer online scar care support. So it's training and support to kind of get you on the road to better scar care. To be able to notice, like, when is this a point where I should reach out to a physiotherapist? When is this a point that I should reach out to a pelvic floor therapist? And how much of this care can I just simply offer myself? How can I ask my caregivers to support me in these things? And then making a plan to do that and finding ways to make it desirable and pleasurable. Yeah. Okay. That's all I've got for the moment. That's enough chatter. So um, let me know if you got questions. Um, I will also have somebody for post mastectomy, uh, nippleless, just to be specific, pleasure care, scar care. So I have a lot of training in scar care, and I'm really fucking determined for it to not be clinical. There's enough people offering that. I don't want to repeat it. So my scar care is based in pleasure. That's the way in which I want us to show up in love and tending to ourselves and one another. So that's what I lead with. So you can find out more about the different practitioners on my feed. There's a post that has a little bit about everyone, and everyone should be linked there. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna go. Bye.